Hey, it's the Brian and Kindra Show. Welcome.
Welcome, welcome.
Yes, this is Woodward, America, small town USA.
We're here to talk about small market real estate.
Yeah, so we're going to give you some tips and tricks, practical tips, valuable insights about real estate and the real estate world.
We're going to save the tricks for October when we
Yes.
trick or treat.
We might show a trick or two.
Yeah,
We
I'm
have
not
some
all
up our
about magic
sleeves.
tricks. So my daughter does magic tricks sometimes with little cards and stuff.
Yeah.
And I lose interest halfway through the trick. And she's like, did you see what I did? And I'm like, I forgot to pay attention. Every time I forget to pay attention. Anyway, bless her heart. It's pretty cute.
Is that an ADH? So I was talking about golf. What was we talking about again?
Exactly. Okay, so we've been talking in our office about strength test or something or other
Yep.
like that. I keep calling them personality quizzes, but which one? Okay, so anyway, Richard and I were talking a minute ago, and I told him, I said, I think it took about 25 to 35 minutes, but I'm not really sure. Also, you have to stay focused because halfway through the strengths, whatever that we did, it said, we noticed you didn't answer the last question. Are you still with us? And I'm like, but I clicked the button. Isn't that funny?
That's so awesome.
He goes, it's a miracle you finish anything. I know. It's weird.
And
Anyway,
together we get things done,
I don't know how,
I think.
but we kind of do.
Yeah.
Sort of. Anyway. All right. So last week we had Chris Castor on
Yep.
and we talked about, actually, I think that was a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago. Regardless, we talked about the Thunderbird Drone Festival and we talked about one of the challenges is just trying to buy and sell at the same time. So then we followed up with how you go about the process of buying a new house when you live in your old house and how you sell and buy all that. So today, I think that the real question that people have is, that's all fine and dandy, but how on earth do I keep my house clean?
Oh,
I think that's the real question, and I think that's the real problem. And so I know whenever we talk about small market real estate, we talk about valuable insights, that you immediately think like insights into the market, and we think about numbers and all those kinds of things. But I think that the real practical tip this time
is
housekeeping. And
Housekeeping.
I am not, this is not me. Not a bit. But I'm thinking about like my kids are grown now, and I'm still not a great housekeeper. Now I just blame, well, I've got the puppy to play with, and she's not really
Yes.
a puppy anymore. But I think about some of our customers and like trying to think about their schedules is just, I can't wrap my mind around it. Like, I think you're pretty busy. I think I'm kind of busy. At lunch today, my husband and I were talking about our schedules, and he said, we don't get to go and do very much. And I'm like, but we're never home either. So what is it that we're doing?
what are we doing again?
But for reals, we live in such a crazy busy society, and we just don't keep house like our grandmothers did.
No. Well, and it takes
Right?
a two-family income household to make a living now,
Right.
which is a big deal, which is, 2 or 3. That's a whole different show. I can get off on that if you want me to.
it too.
You're like, hey, we can get off on that if you want to, but that's, it's because we want
Sometimes.
more stuff.
Right.
So-
All that to say, we have some ideas. I don't know. I want to rewind one more time because I just feel like there's so much to preface this whole show with. One, not picking on anybody, not picking on any of our sellers, not picking on any future sellers,
Right.
not picking on anybody, because I think this is a real struggle across the board. I think so many people can relate to the idea of how in the world do I keep my house clean enough whenever I'm selling. But I have noticed with some of our sellers, especially with kids in middle school, high school, but now even elementary school and younger, I can't tell you which stage is the hardest stage to sell your house in. You know what I mean?
If
When
you
they're
ask
little.
my wife, it's just, as long as you have a husband, it's hard to keep up.
If your husband is a tornado.
Would you pick up your shoes? Which pair?
So we're going to talk about that. So we want to give some ideas. Okay, so I think that this is timely because school started just a couple weeks ago,
Yes.
and that amps up the schedules. It should be football season. I'm not really good with the football calendar, but I'm thinking there's probably scrimmages already.
Yes.
And if not, they're going to be soon, and then games are going to be soon, and then we're moving in. My favorite, is basketball season. So I love basketball season.
I didn't know that. I thought you were a football girl.
No.
No.
Football's fun because I accidentally watch all the people. I don't really know how to play. I don't know how football works, but I really enjoy basketball. And like I had told one of my BFFs last year. So my girls group that I hang with quite a bit, one of us has her son, Abby's son, Zane, plays basketball. And so I was super excited to go watch Zane a little bit. And I convinced one of my other friends to go with. And she's like, I don't know how I feel. And I'm like, I'm telling you, it's the coolest thing. When they start squeaking their shoes on the floor, you're going to get excited. And not very long ago, she goes, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm kind of excited to watch Zane again this year. Like, I love it. I love it. So, but that's a busy, stinking schedule. So crazy. So, let's go. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Schedule a cleaning routine.
Routine.
Okay. So routine.
So here's how our routine works.
Your wife just does it.
Kind of ish. She comes home every day and picks up, and I come home and mess it up. And the next day she comes home and cleans it up. But then, because my wife has a full-time job, I have a full-time job. We also decided to have somebody come help do the deep cleaning. That's our routine. She cleans up after me, and then we have somebody once a week clean up after her.
I don't know that that's feasible for every
2
home.
weeks, actually.
I mean, that sounds like a dream, and I would love that.
Well,
Except here's the thing: some of us are just a little too.
Well, we're very it's like, hey, we're going to sacrifice this to do that.
I'm not completely comfortable having somebody come in my house and know that we're kind of just pigs. Like, I just don't want it. You're saying probably though, once they clean it once or twice, I won't be such a pig.
You'll be like, we're going to just keep doing this. Because the first couple of times it's like, this is very expensive. And now it's like, this is awesome.
Okay, so it's an option.
It is an option.
But kind of like paying somebody to mow your lawn.
Yes.
You don't pay anybody to mow your lawn right now.
I know. I should.
So again, not every family is going to choose to have somebody come in and do their housekeeping.
That's
but
right.
even if they do, whenever you're selling your home, it's more than just making sure the toilets are clean.
Right.
There's a lot more that goes into it.
Oh, man.
So establishing a daily or a weekly cleaning schedule.
Yes.
Okay, we didn't talk about this before. Sometimes I just throw stuff just to see what your face is going to look
do
like.
it.
Just wait. Okay, there used to be this flylady.com and she had daily cleaning schedules and she had like monthly cleaning schedules and it was the coolest thing. But she literally would be like, the minute you get out of bed, you put your tennis shoes on. Because if you have your shoes on, you're more likely to be productive. And she said a lot of us, especially back then I was a stay-at-home mom, a lot of us that stay at home end up not getting stuff done because we stay in our pajamas and we don't have the motivation to get moving. So she says, get your shoes on. But my favorite thing that she did was hot spots. She's like, okay, 15 minutes, go work on a hot spot. What was really funny was they had a chat room. This was way back then. They'd be chatting all day long. And I'm like, nobody's cleaning because they're all chatting. Like, it was the funniest thing to me. Anyway, I love the idea of paying attention to hot spots. So I feel like we're probably going to go out of order in our list today.
Oh, yeah.
But I think that's the big thing with establishing a cleaning routine is every night, 15 minutes. And this is something everybody can do. So my kids, when they were little bitty, like this was part of it. Okay, 15-minute hotspot cleanup. They have no idea what 15-minute means. We set the timer. But they run around, their little legs running around, and they're putting their toys away and making sure that their nightstand is tidied up or whatever. I'm ridiculous. That really didn't happen. They did help me with hotspots in the living room, but they didn't they weren't super. My children are not superheroes. They didn't really know to go clean their nightstand. But we can give our kids direction like that, and we can give ourselves direction like that. But if you, like my grandmother, I remember when I was young, my grandmother worked she worked outside the home. My grandpa worked outside the home. When we would go to grandmother and grandpa's, like their house was immaculate. And I remember in high school, because I cleaned all the time at home, I remember finally asking her, like, how in the world is your house always clean? And she said, oh, because I have a schedule. Of course she did. Like she vacuumed on Mondays and Wednesdays, and she mopped on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and
dusted on Fridays.
Like and I'm thinking, there's no way I'm going to mop twice a week, whatever. But I mean, she had this schedule where she cleaned the bathrooms once a week, and she did this and she did this, and then she did that whole hotspot routine. I think that's how we do it.
I agree. Same thing. It's the.
You're like, why am I on here? I don't even know what you're talking about.
I don't think No, when I clean stuff, I like back the dump trailer up and like, all right, what do you want to do with all this stuff? Raging tornado. Or I'm the other guy. It's like, Karen's like, oh, somebody's coming in 15 minutes. I'm like, I race into the corner of the closet and start like, okay, I'm going to organize this corner.
Glad you said that.
I'm going to organize this corner so I can put that stuff in this corner, but this has got to go away first. So I'm going to move this And I start dragging stuff out. She's like, what are you doing? I'm like, well, I'm making a spot for that. Why are you?
This is
Because I
not
need
the
to make a spot.
time.
Because I need to make a spot for that. So for me to move my shoes from here to here to here to here, I got to clean this corner out.
No.
And
Okay, I'm
she's
glad
like,
you said that.
Oh, she so frustrates her. So
There's
bad.
this couple from Laverne, and I remember 1997, right after I was first married the first time. She was telling a story exactly like that, and she said, "Mr. C, whenever I need help when we have people coming, he will always clean out a closet." And I just kind of got chuckled, just like you. And I'm
That's
like,
me.
that is just hilarious. Okay, well, that's not what we're talking about. That is something that needs to be done.
That's
But this
called-
is not what we're talking about. We're talking about daily things. So
Yep.
you're making sure that the dishes are put into the dishwasher or empty the dishwasher, that you don't have the stuff on the counters, that the bathrooms are swiped. That was another fly lady thing. Just swipe away. We got to swipe every day. Those kinds of things that just keep things looking nice that you think are going to take forever and are really like a 10-minute job.
Right.
Just not a thing.
Compound
That's
effect.
what we're talking about. The other thing is include your family members. And I think this is hard. We're not telling you how to raise your kids. We're not telling you how to.
Raise your husband.
No, I'm absolutely not telling you how to raise your husband. Not going to tell you how to do that. But for real, if your kids, I do think that it helps our children to have those responsibilities. I might have put too many on mine. I don't know. Right now, they both are keeping a pretty decent house. And I am so thankful for that.
I may have spoiled mine.
Shocked.
Hurry up, clean. The house cleaners are coming. What?
Which means put stuff away.
Right. Yes.
You're not really cleaning, you're
No.
tidying.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
So, okay.
It's the 5 hours you spend in the kitchen mastering your famous recipe or spending quality time with your family. Other insurance companies may just see it as a house. It's not just a house, it's your home. Hi, I'm State Farm Agent Kevin Kanzler, and I see your home as the time and memories you put into them. I understand what your things really mean to you, and I'm here to help give them the protection they deserve. My office is located on the corner of 13th and Oklahoma and Woodward, or call me at 580-256-2216 for your home insurance today.
On Point Land Survey can take care of all your residential, commercial, and industrial survey needs. This family-owned and operated business proudly serves Northwest Oklahoma. These lifelong Northwest Oklahoma residents with over 22 years of experience are ready to serve you with the latest equipment and capable trucks to get your job done. Call On Point Land Survey today at 580-256-6757 or stop by 1918 Main Street in Woodward, Oklahoma, or visit their website at onpointlandsurveyok.com. Professional, trusted, local.
Declutter strategically. This is really the first thing, and this is what we're going to have you do before we even list your house. And we don't use the term declutter. We tend to say pre-pack.
Yes.
So if you have the least amount of stuff out, then you have so much less to clean. It's so much easier to keep things tidy if you already have things packed away before you put your house on the market. But then even just when you just are living in your home and you're not for sale, like if you just have things like put away in the right way, and if they're organized and you've got cute little baskets for things that can't be put away, whatever, like you can make things somewhat attractive, even though they're a necessary mess.
Yes. Just like, for example, for your kids' toys, they always drag them into the living room.
Right.
Just go get a nice big
Cute little basket or
a
whatever.
big Tupperware, not Tupperware, a big
You're thinking
plastic
Rubbermaid.
tub, Rubbermaid tub.
I
Thank
would
you.
not say do that if
Well-
you're listing your house.
Well, because they make nice ones
Okay.
for like a deck
Okay.
outside, but they're nice
Sure.
looking. You sit in the corner of your room, you put your
Gotcha.
blankets on top of it, all their toys inside of it.
Okay. So I was
Strategic.
telling somebody that's going to be listing their home soon, they've got little kids, and we're talking about the toy box and all that
You
kind of
said,
stuff.
get rid of the kids, we'll sell
I
that.
said, just get rid of the kids. That's fine. That's not true. Remember back in the old days, we had like the huge entertainment centers?
Mm-hmm.
So I know we don't have that now, but I bet you have something in your living room that works similar.
Yes.
So it had the huge cubby for, I have no idea what. That was where my toys went. So my kids' toys lived in the entertainment center. And whenever we knew somebody was on their way, like a 5-minute, hey, I'm running by, we just shoved everything back into the entertainment center. It was beautiful. You can find ways to do that so that you still have like a tidy space, but your kids are still getting to play.
Right.
So pre-pack first, get rid of as much as you can
Yep.
that you don't really need, that you don't really play with, that you don't really use, or pack away things. And even that alone, remember, did you do this with your kids? Did you I meant, did Carrie Ann used to like pack a box of your kids' toys and then you'd switch them out?
No,
They would
but-
like think that they got new stuff every 3 or 4 months.
Yes. We did that when we were moving from Wilshire. We went to move one time. We cleaned everything up, and I boxed a bunch of stuff up, boxed half their toys up, put them in the garage. And then we're
you
like,
forgot?
wow, this house is awesome with all this stuff in it. And then, so slowly as we unpacked stuff, because we stayed,
Right.
it was like, oh, look, here's a whole box of toys. And so,
So you stayed. Then were you, after you unpacked, were you like, dang it, we need a new house?
Yeah. And about a year later, we moved.
That's a real thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes whenever he got his house in Woodward, their house in Woodward, ready to sell, he was kind of like, I sure do love this house. And we kind of giggle, like, why did we wait so long to do the updates that we did for the next guy? All right. So declutter strategically and everywhere, like the entryway. How does the entryway look? All those kinds of things. And we've talked before, this is one of those times you may want to bring like your most vocal friend.
Mm-hmm.
And have them walk through. And so what do you notice? They may not be noticing your pretty vase because all they can see are the magazines around it. Like, that's a really great way to help you to know if your house looks cluttered, if it looks unmessy and untidy. Bring over your vocal person or Brian. He doesn't mind telling you.
Well,
No, you do it with, mostly you do that
Mostly
with
Grace.
Yeah, I think so. All right, next, create designated play areas. So I know this kind of goes along with the way that we had our toy box as the entertainment center, but I think the idea of having just a little play area, so people come in and you don't have the kids' toys picked up. It's obvious you have kids, they have a little play area, but it's not really an eyesore because it's all in one place, as opposed to like the entire living room floor.
yes.
Because I remember my kids, man, they could drag out the
It's
stuff.
crazy.
Yes.
And you'd be like, yeah, where do you put all these things in your room? Like,
And I still don't even understand the kids and the way, like, they would just dump out the toys. It's just all the toys. They just, in their bedrooms, they just dump them and then they'd leave the bedroom. I'm like, why did you do it? What? I don't
was
know.
looking
Kids are so
for that
goofy.
shoe,
That
that
shoe.
doll.
They're cleaning out the closet. Involve the kids. This just keeps coming up.
It's good lessons.
It is. And sometimes you can make it fun. I'm not going to do this for you, but call me. We can talk.
Yeah.
There's fun little songs. Like if you have little kids, anytime you make cleaning up a game, they do it, I swear. Like we'll pick up all the toys. I don't remember what tune that was. We had all these different cleanup songs. And if I started singing, they would start doing the thing. Like it was, you didn't do that? That's a weird Kindra thing.
Yeah, I didn't ever
Well,
sing
It
anything.
worked. It works.
Maybe
No?
it's because I can't sing.
I don't think it had anything to do with
If they had
being able to.
if they had a radio,
Oh, I don't know. I think it helps. But if it's a game, set a timer,
Yep.
Sing the songs, rewards for helping.
yeah. If you do it, I won't beat you. No,
I don't think that's what that
I want to throw all your
means.
toys away if you don't pick them up. That's how I did it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I might have said that a time or two as
Yeah.
well, but I didn't actually follow through.
I didn't
so
do it very
really wasn't
often.
Very good. Yep. Okay. Using weekends strategically.
So
That's really hard for me.
it is, and I like it's game on for me. If I have a free Saturday, I'm like, I want to get home and I'm gonna rearrange everything. And then my wife's like, can we just take a break? I'm like, but this is my break. Like
I know, and
Working
that's what's really hard.
physically working is my break, versus she's tired of standing and teaching and dealing
Right.
with people like me, and so she wants to just sit.
I found, and I don't think I'm alone in this, like we have so little time with our families. And so on the weekends when it's time to do major stuff, like I keep things tidy during the week, but I'm horrible about like mopping. Like I really despise mopping, but it's probably more of a Saturday job because we have so much tile and harder, I don't know, whatever that kind of, I don't know what that floor is, not vacuuming floors.
Right.
We have so many of those. It takes me a long time to get all of that done. So I know it needs to be done on Saturday. But on Saturday, whenever my Jack is home and I'm home, I don't want to mop. I don't want to mop. I want to be outside, or I want to be going with him. I want to be doing with him. I don't stinking want to clean. So this is a challenge.
It is.
And then add on that, for normal people, I don't think that we're normal anymore, like running and going to kids stuff like that. It always seems to come around that. But there's ball games and there's activities and there's cheer this and dance that. And oh my
Trees and rocks and
goodness.
lakes.
I just want to be at the trees and rocks and lakes. That's all I
They're
want.
calling.
They are calling
Golf
my name.
course.
The golf course calls you.
Yeah.
The water
weird.
calls
I
me.
don't know
Yeah.
why.
Anyway, so use them strategically, though. You do have to eventually schedule some time to really do some of those hard things on the weekend and get them done. But I'm not saying don't play. I'm just saying sometimes we might have to sacrifice play.
It comes back to that short deal. Like, hey, we're just going to mop and vacuum Saturday morning. It's going to take 30 minutes. Bam, and then go.
Right.
And then Sunday morning before church or wherever you go on Sunday
Right.
afternoon, you do the next thing. And so,
And this is where, so that whole working together thing is a challenge, and I didn't realize it. So Jack is like, I can mow and weed eat in 52 minutes. And I'm like, well, we can cut that in half if you'll weed eat and let me mow. And he's, because I refuse to weed eat. I've got a real attitude about it. And he's like, no, it's not your job. And I'm like, well, all of this is all of our jobs. When I convinced him to let, and it's also a fun mower. When I convinced him to let me do that and we finished, he's like, hot dang, we did that fast.
you didn't run over anything or into anything. You just did it. Oh, okay.
Anyway,
that's a different story. Got it.
That's not for today. That's not today's story. Anyway, I think that that's whenever the cooperation really makes a difference. And I know he and I are weird. Like we really enjoy doing that kind of stuff together. But it really did cut our time in half, and then we could do fun things. Like, I mean, I was having fun on the mower, but weed eating isn't fun.
Oh, God.
Prioritize high traffic areas. So the things that the buyers see first. So do you have anything in your mind? Like I have things in my brain, but I don't know if they're the same thing. This is what I always wonder. What I see, is it what you see?
Right.
Like I see tables and desks and the end tables in the living room. Those are what I see that I'm like, I wish that was put away.
I don't know what I see. I see things, holes in the wall or scrapes or finishes
Interesting.
or trim that needs fixed or cluttered kitchen counters are a big one to me. Like, oh my gosh, how many more appliances can we stick on that counter? What color is that counter again? Yeah.
Okay. I think the kitchen is a big deal. Making sure that the kitchen counters are cleaned off. And I used to have all the appliances out on the counter. And I have really scaled that back. It's hard to do that. I hate pulling out the crock pot, putting it back, pull out the air fryer, put it back. And I'm getting better at it. But I know it's a hassle, but when you're selling your home, it's a hassle that's probably worth it.
Yeah. Maybe
Because
just,
it makes your kitchen look so big.
yeah, or just put all those away and order food out. Just kidding.
No, I don't think that's the way to do it. I mean, I need to make sure that the fire
Depends
department
how fast
gets to
we sell your
exercise.
house. Yeah.
All right. Next up, I don't know. I lost my place. Oh, invest in storage solutions.
Yep, storage solutions. So I think it's a big deal. There are all kinds of crazy storage things. Just like the
Isn't it the
tip
truth?
of the outdoor, like the patio storage
Right.
container that looks nice and looks like a little table or a little bench or something. It's great for your blankets in your living room or your toys in the toy box living room,
Right.
like that. And then there's like, I mean, we have some crazy shoe rack that's not really a shoe rack. I don't exactly know where it came from, but I screwed it to the wall and we got little pockets. We shove all our shoes in it.
Right.
We actually have rolling shelving in our pantry, except our pantry
Which is awesome.
10
Well, your
by
pantry
10,
is like
insane.
everybody else's bedroom size.
kitchen. Nice, bam. What is this thing? And so I thought it was cool. I was like, this is great. I'll just put wheels on it. If we ever, well, we've never moved them, but it was kind of funny
Right.
because they came with rolling racks. So we have commercial rolling racks in our, which is nice because I can move them out, sweep, move them back in.
It is. Okay, so your commercial rolling racks, I had to use those as storage in my tiny house kitchen because I just did not have the storage space to do everything. And so, like, when I first put it out there, I know everyone thought, oh my gosh, that's going to look so tacky. It wasn't the prettiest, but I had these cute little baskets. And then literally I hid the crock pots had a pretty little towel over them and things like that. But like I was able to hide some of the smaller things, like my little crock pot, it's in a basket. Nobody sees it. snacks in a basket. Nobody sees them. And so where I had been trying to store things on top of the refrigerator and doing all these different things, it really helped. So find nice ways to put some of your clutter so it's still out and accessible,
Right.
but it's not
Pretty basket, all your
distracting.
magazines in the trash or in the basket.
Yeah, yeah, me too. All right, prepare for showings in advance.
That's a big deal. And
I would say that's almost impossible.
you almost have to just keep it.
You just have
gotta
to have
keep
it show ready,
You got to be like,
unfortunately.
hey, we're headed to school. So everybody 5 minutes race, or before you get your kids up, go clean and then get your kids up so they can tear it up. No, but it comes back to, it's hard. It is just, we understand it's hard.
It is. And we know that. So these are just tips. They're not a judgment call, and they're not you got to do better. Not at all like that. We know it's hard, and
'Cause
we
this
just hope that
doesn't-
some of this will give some ideas.
This doesn't work for me and our family because we're not good at this, which is bad. We
Right.
just go buy the house and then move and then fix the other house and sell it, which is a hard thing to do as well because it's very expensive.
Yes.
It's very expensive to own 2 houses, but I know I could get more money out of the house if we weren't in it, and that's what we did. But I do it for a living, so I know.
Right.
So yeah.
Sometimes I think one of the challenges that we have found are with small children. Nap time.
Oh,
It is nearly impossible to schedule a showing around nap time. So sometimes you have to be creative with that. If we know in advance and it's during nap time, is there somewhere else that you can go take naps? Like, do you have family or friends that would let you come over, crash, and put your kid in the playpen in the other room?
yeah.
So just some thinking. I don't know. I'm not sure where we are on time.
So we are close, but it comes back to, again, small town. It's not as critical. People will drive up in your driveway and say, hey, we want to look at the house right now.
Yeah.
But we are very good at, hey, so-and-so wants to look at your house. Hey, let me call and set up an appointment. You say, hey, really, it's not a good nighttime. So we call them back and say things like, hey, right now it's not a good time, but how about 5 o'clock?
Right.
You give us times at work, and then we will try to work our schedule around all that stuff. But
We
the biggest thing,
negotiate it the same way as we do the contract.
yes, we just keep doing it. Just keep negotiating. So again, communication. I do advise, hiring cleaning people is a big deal, but when you put your house on the market, it's probably a good investment to spend a little
Probably
extra
so.
money hiring somebody to come in and help you deep clean while you just keep the clutter out.
Right.
And that takes a little pressure off. We've got good cleaning people that'll help with that. And then if you are thinking about selling your house, the good time is to come. The sooner the better. We come up, we show up, we tell you some tips.
Right.
And then we can personalize your tips. Like, hey, here's this thing
Yes.
on Amazon, or they sell these at Ace. Go check them out. And we can help you with some of that cool tips and tricks.
Definitely. So if you are curious about what that might look like for you and you would like to sell your home or buy your home, give us a shout. I can be texted or called anytime at 580-216-0090.
I'm Brian Cook, and you can contact me 580-334-2303. Thanks for listening.
See you next time.
Hey, it's the Brian and Kindra Show.